highly encourage for those people who are newcomers to ask questions on topics that concern life, that concern spiritual practices, that concern areas of life in which solutions don't come, for example, or that concern modern spirituality to vague concepts of spirituality, anything. Feel free to ask. This is one of the platforms that I highly encourage asking, by the way. This recording also goes to Instagram in pieces, so whatever you ask may actually go to Instagram. Very, very good actually. Yeah, feel free. Before we start the actual session, I really like, and sometimes it's happened that the topics people have suggested become the topics for the session itself. So we're very fluid in that regard. So I highly encourage asking questions. Feel free to ask anything. Anything.
Is there any logic the way you start sessions, right? Like 6:40, 9:40. Is there any reason?
Oh wow. So usually what I have in my mind is 20 minutes is for talk, clearing doubts, having discussions. No other. 20 minutes is reasonable actually. But even now we have 5 minutes cut out for some other practice. Yeah. But 40 minutes, sorry, the 20 minutes was a time frame given to talks and addressing doubts and things like that, which most people actually have. And I realize without clarifying certain doubts in the practices, the practice quality does not change. It does not improve. And so real progress in the path does not really happen. In my case, for example, I received, with blessings of God, excellent mentorship on the path. And that really, really helped me strive forward in a relatively clearly known direction forward. And with that in mind, I know that when you practice with clarity or get your doubts clarified over a period of time, the path seems much easier and problems seem much, much lesser. That's fine. Yes?
So, I don't know if it's relevant right now, but I believe that all repressed feelings and emotions basically get stored in your body in different parts or organs. So, I remember we did a meditation with you, the forgiveness practice, where you were thinking about a specific organ.
Yes.
And trying to heal that. At that point, I was struggling and I actually ended up thinking of a body part.
Okay.
But, and then I was not sure. I mean, it really helped. The pain that I was feeling disappeared, which was really good. But at that point, I was wondering what are like the emotions, how do they get stored in the different organs and body parts, so that if we bring a similar practice, will it help? It will help us know what we are sort of releasing also.
Really, actually, very, very good question. Think about it this way. Your body is not just a machine which is purely flesh. First things first. Who of you are doctors here? Medical profession. Of course. Right? How many of you at least know or have doctors in the family at least? Like my brother's MBBS. Yeah? Oh, wow. Thank you. Good. So, all of us who are at least associated to medical background in one form or the other know that emotions in excess are not very good. Like today I was talking to a dietitian for the first time and said, you know what, help me, like that, right? So I was talking to a dietitian and she asked me specifically, do you meditate? I was like, yeah, of course I meditate. But she said, in her case of her clients, the amount of unhealthy or unwholesome stress that her clients have leads directly to unhealthy weight gain in almost like weeks to months. They can't handle stress, body reaches the threshold and boom, after reach, it has something to do with age, but she said mostly it has to do with inability to handle situations and stress and take everything upon oneself. Now, she just talked about stress, but if you look a little bit deeper, you would realize there is a modality called TCM, Traditional Chinese Medicine, TCM. TCM talks about, I will talk about how it happens also, but TCM talks about different organs house or harbor different kinds of emotions. For example, lungs are used to store what is called grief, or the grief is usually found in lungs. Person who grieves a lot may develop breathing difficulty, emphysema over a period of time. It's very natural actually, tuberculosis of the lungs, right? or other problems in relation to like lung failures and lung fibrosis and stuff. You have heart which stores sadness. That's true, heart stores sadness, which is why sadness and love don't go together. If you give the energy of love to a person, there can't be sadness because it will be eliminated from the system. Now, the liver stores anger, and the gallbladder, in my understanding lately, stores rage. Gallbladder stone is probably an example of rage suppressed, and welcome stone. That's your baby actually, after that. Unhealthy product, right? But it's still exactly that. You need a lot of energy, huge amount of energy to create something as powerful as stone. Imagine, figuratively imagine, E is equal to mc square, right? All of us know Einstein said that mass is not mass, it's practically energy, right? To create a physical substance purely from energy needs how much volume of energy? Just picturize in your mind. That's all I'm asking you to do. To create mass from energy, it requires crazy amount of energy actually. Imagine that much of emotion, especially of anger or rage, suppressed for a very long period of time, probably incarnations. A certain book called Esoteric Healing actually mentions that you need to be able to suppress emotions, especially anger or things like that, for about 3 or 4 or 5 incarnations to actually make a stone, or make a tumor, or make a cancer. It's not a one incarnation story. Are we getting somewhere? Yeah? Okay. Kidneys store fear. How do we know? Because one portion, of course, is that the chakra which controls it, but it is said that, remember that bad guy that points a gun at an even weaker guy, and the bigger guy is like, kidneys store urine, data control, and this both get affected with fear release, right? This is a funny part. So you have, I think, pancreas stores something, then spleen stores something, and then different organs store different kinds of emotions. Now this is very, very important. How will you actually go about cleaning these emotions from the system is primarily, you can't clean emotions by emotions. Please, I want you to really understand this once, very, very importantly, that you can't wipe emotions by emotions. You can bring in a lot of good emotions, but that's not going to actually work in the long run. Like for example, affirmations work, but affirmations don't work because of the intensity of emotions. They work because of the willpower behind them, right? Which means it's the power of a clear thinking thought that actually removes the emotion. Now there are emotions which make you feel deficient, insufficient, poverty, I'm not good enough, or low self-image. These are really hard to remove. They basically become part of your very thinking, feeling system. So much so that if something happens, it's completely independent of you, it will trigger something inside of you, because that is exactly where your consciousness is polarized in emotions, and they're too strong by the way right now. However, when you start to use rational logic, clear thinking, and in practice also, it is after meditation right now, but if you start thinking more clearly, analyzing it, breaking it down, you will realize there's no substance behind those emotions. They're just emotions stashed in the system. Clear thinking is one of the fastest ways to clean up the emotion. For example, many people are not able to earn money in life. There's a constant feeling, not thought process, but a constant feeling of it doesn't come, or I don't feel prosperous, or even though I try to do affirmation, I don't feel like that. The feeling pulling them down is too strong, for example, of poverty, of deficiency, of this, insufficiency, of inadequacy. It's too powerful actually. It's hard to pull out of that if you don't know what to do. For example, in many cases, what I try and do is I try to question the belief system. Now I have advanced techniques to work with it, of course. At a point of time, I would question the belief system so strongly, why do I believe in this? Why exactly is my system feeling exactly this? There's no reason for me to actually feel anything like this, because it's not true. Once you start to question, once the mind starts to take over, the emotion will find no place to hide. It's like mind like big it can't run everywhere. Once you catch it, you will realize that you or your mind has much stronger power over the emotion than emotion has the power over you. Mental thinking or thinking analysis based approach is one of the short ways to clean up all emotions which are unhealthy in your system. Many people who are still caught up in emotions don't use rational thinking faculty when emotion takes over. And we know things that spoil, health is practically emotions. Practically, I haven't come across a dietitian who says don't think so much. Of course they say, but they say in the form key, don't take a lot of stress. Don't obsessively worry. That's what they say, right? But effectively they encourage thinking. Think clearly. And if you go to a psychologist, for example, or a psychotherapist person, they will ask you questions, they will interact with you, they will encourage thinking. Did you think of this? Did you think of that? They will try to help you resolve your problem, your emotions, by thinking. The exercises that they give you are a mode of thinking, encouraging thinking process in areas where you don't think. For example, today morning, surprisingly, I don't know how many of you guys attend the forgiveness practice in the morning that I take in the morning? Forgiveness practice in the morning. How many of you take that? Okay, most of you don't, right? So I think you should really start doing that. The interesting part is this. Today morning we took a forgiveness practice of forgiving for parents. It was about 10 minutes long, I think, in a standard practice, and we came to a point where I had a hint that many people would actually be crying right now, but I continued, of course, with the process, and it was, I actually received many texts of people, verbal and written. They were personal, so I didn't share in the group, but it's like we wept and wept and wept and wept because we never questioned our parents. We just suppressed everything down, assuming they were correct. And that is not necessarily true. Parents are growing, parents are evolving, parents make their own mistakes. And some of those mistakes really hurt us. Many times, because their overprotective nature, they don't allow us to do things that would really help us bloom. They don't. Nothing good or bad about it, it's just true forgiveness will in this case come, or release of emotion will come from understanding and not only feeling, understanding their approach, understanding their way and embracing it. Then when you forgive, because I understand where you're coming from, that will be really deep. Then there will be no place for emotion or nowhere for emotions to lie. You've accepted, you've completely understood. Understanding is what I'm trying to point you to. Understanding is a technique which you really need to wash away this conglomeration of emotions, this salad of emotions everywhere. Make sense? Yeah? Now, let's talk about this, the mechanism of how does emotion actually get stored inside the organ. That's important, right? All of us know we don't have a physical body only. We have more than, how many of you know we have more than the physical body? You guys know this? Who doesn't know that? Who has no idea what I'm talking about? That there are more than one body we have. Everyone knows, or somebody doesn't know? No. Raise your hand if you don't know. Then I'll have explanation accordingly. Yeah? But at least there's one person who raised their hand. Quickly, we have what is called the physical body. In Sanskrit is called Annamaya Kosha. Anna is food, right? Annamaya Kosha. We have something called Pranamaya Kosha or energy body, which is the next body that we have, which is invisible to the physical eye, but it's also called bioplasmic body in English or subtle English, right? Then there is something called Kama Kosha in Sanskrit. It's called desire body or emotional body, right? There's something called Kama Loka, Kama Deva, right? You know, all sort of, right? Kama Deva, right? Yeah, no. Kamdev, the one who has a heart and all of that, right? The one who creates desire, Kamadev, right? That's why there's a Kam Rog, you know, all of that stuff. So, Kam is desire. There is an explicit body that you have, which is called the astral body or the emotional body, which expresses desire. All of the feelings emotions are generated in that body. And the surprising part is that body is the most potent body for humanity as of today. Which means that body is stronger than the soul in most people. Which is why all the Hindi serial soaps are emotion centric, no logic, emotion centric, right? Music, emotion centric. One line you repeat 4 5 times, 4 5 times, 4 5 times, emotion gets pleased. No logic, no sense, nothing. Emotions, right? Anyways, out of the content, Shah Rukh Khan became the best hero. Why? Emotions. But no logic, no reason, none of the intellectual faculty gets triggered. But emotions feel really good. Emotions. Industry is almost truly driven by emotions to a good level. Music industry, film industry, entertainment industry, art industry, mostly driven by emotions. Mathematics and sciences, thank God, are not. Some up until now. So let's go forward. So emotions, right? Then we have a body called the mental body or the manomycosha. These are next levels of bodies. All the intellectual work, all the calculations, all the thinking happens in the mental body. They reflect in the brain. Brain is like calculator, but not the thinker. The thinker is the mental body, or soul using the mental body is the thinker actually, right? So you have different chakras which correspond to these bodies in general, right? Now, imagine you feel a lot of emotions. The astral body generates massive forms in its own plane, inner plane, in an astral plane. Do you guys know the astral plane? Have you heard of the word astral travel? Astral life, astral plane, yeah. Okay. Part of this is going to be a little bit more difficult to help you understand, but physical body has this plain physical world, right? When you go to sleep, you go to what is called as the astral world or the astral plane, right? You go in your astral body. You, the soul, go in the astral body. I'm not saying you, the body, you, the soul, take the astral body and go traveling around the astral world. Astral world can be open to the physical eye if you are developed to that degree. But almost 99.99% of humanity is not developed at all to that degree. They can see astral world plain as this. It's a subtle level of consciousness. But the fact of the matter is, to those people who are clairvoyants, who can see beyond the physical realm, astral plane is like just shifting consciousness from this plane to that. Is that simple shift of, for example, I'm wearing this, now I'm not wearing. Now I can see something completely different, for example. That is the way clairvoyants work, for example. So a clairvoyant can look at your emotional body or your astral body. You can see exactly what emotion, where, how, what is the trigger, everything. A clairvoyant on the mental plane can actually tell you everything about your thoughts. They can see your thoughts live and clear. They can tell you whether you're understanding the subject, whether you are present here, whether you're not present here, everything. Whether you're worrying about something, what are you worrying about, whether it has a basis or not, everything. And there are next level of people, they are called intuitive, truly intuitive people. Not the pseudo-intuitives that we talk about on the internet, but real intuitives have an extremely solidified soul connection. And they are hyper rare, by the way. Rare can be rare, you know, rare square. Those guys they don't need to know you, they are one with you already. Like super tightly one with you. They are very rare. A great teacher is an example of one such person. In fact, a suitable example is this. Krishna had how many gopis? 16,000? 16,000, right? Those gopis, we all know, I mean, at least we hopefully know, they were rishis reincarnated, of course, you know, to have an incarnation with the great teacher, right? He would meditate when Krishna, the child or the teen Krishna would meditate, he would unite completely in consciousness at that time with 16,000 rupees, complete oneness. That is the degree of development we're talking about, right? It's possible, it just takes a lot of effort on the side of spirit, not on the side of matter. Right? Now, getting back. When you feel, and if you give a lot of weightage to feeling, and if you give a lot of importance to feeling, it creates a massive form in the astral world. Only if you could see, you would know what we're talking of. a huge gigantic form, and that form has to go somewhere. It can't just be lying around the asteroid. Otherwise, you will always be triggered. You will be triggered 24/7 if it doesn't go somewhere. It compresses itself. This is the mechanism of the body, by the way. It compresses itself over a period of time. Compress. And through the mechanism of chakras, is stored in some part of the body. That is why you have tumors. That is exactly why you have cancers. Huge amount of energy compressed, stored in certain portion of the body, will someday manifest as one form or the other. Whatever's the line of least resistance, that will exactly be whatever happens in your body. Many cysts, many fibroids, many myomas, many tumors are, if you ever scan them, scanning by the way is a technique of pranic healing courses, right? If you scan them, you would realize that, by the way, this is a very good reason to take pranic healing courses. You can actually scan a lot of things. A lot of things. If you're interested in taking pranic healing courses, just get in touch with me, I'll tell you exactly what to do, okay? So when you scan the energy of tumors of cancers, it's extremely dense and very dirty. Very dense, very dirty. It's been collecting over not just one but multiple incarnations. And that's how it looks like. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, but to the last point that you said, if you don't mind, I know people who do pranic healing and still get the cancer, the tumor.
Good point, yeah. Cancer is one exception, I think, or some diseases like this. If there are some people who get completely healed of cancer, whichever, whether it's a healing technique or medically or whichever, sometimes it's a relapse of cancer. Two possible reasons are there. Just to give you a background on healing and how things work and the world of energy in general, right? First factor is a karmic factor, which means karmically cancer is not supposed to go. The person is karmically entitled to suffer. Some more, like that. And karma is something which lesser control is exercised as of now. There are ways to overcome it also if it is excusable. If it is not excusable, there is suffering and not much can be done. You will not find the right doctor, or the doctor won't do the job properly, or will relapse, or you won't find the right doctor. When it relapses, something will happen, or you will not even know till it's the end state, and when it's found, you are already about to leave. Second possible problem that I've actually noticed in so many people who take medical treatments, some of them go hysterectomy, some of them get their cancers removed through chemotherapy and things like that, right? But when I scan them, I'm like, the energy structure which created cancer is still there. Like scaffolding is still there. The building might have gone down a few floors, fine, but scaffolding very much is there actually. So what are you going to do about that? That's when I tell them take healing. Because healing will break the scaffolding almost completely to never recreate a cancer. Do you understand? It takes energy structure of a specific kind to even create cancer. No energy of cancer or no suppressive emotions and thoughts, cancer can't happen. It's impossible. Or any disease. Cancer is just one example. Any disease. You even have a headache, you don't have a proper energy manifesting a headache. And the problem is many times the energy is not in the head region, it's over here. Yeah. So, anyways, I have a different topic for today. What's the time? 7? 15. I'll take for about 10 minutes max. Yeah. The actual topic of today was supposed to start at 7 o'clock. Anyways, so I have a small topic I'm going to take today, which is very, very important actually. Many troubles that we have in our everyday life, many of the troubles actually are to a good degree avoidable, because most troubles are actually troubles with relationships. For example, whenever I go to companies in which you have very successful people working, they never say money is a trouble. Nobody ever says money is a trouble. They always say my relationship with my child, with my wife, with my parents also. And in some cases people say with myself. Those who know what they're talking about, they say with myself. I don't know myself, I don't know what the hell am I doing. I don't know why am I working here. The biggest companies of India, by the way, the employees have feedbacks like this. Now, one of the very important things behind all this is establishing a very effective communication. I was talking about this to my wife yesterday, so it really makes sense to elaborate it a little bit more over here. There is something which I used a word with her, we were talking about yesterday. This could be a very good topic someday, is explorative communication. See, what makes you fall in love with somebody? All of you human, you've been in love. What makes you fall in love with somebody? Hey, we are not that grown that we can't talk about it. Come on. And nor are we teens. Nature of the person and but no, love is different, attraction is different. What makes you fall in love with somebody?
Easy to communicate.
Validation.
Communication is one very important factor, yes. What else?
You feel validation.
You feel validation. That's beautiful. It's also, by the way, stemming from effective communication. I agree with that perfectly. What else? What is fundamental behind love? Not attraction, not infatuation, but love. Truthfulness is attractive. May not be the real reason for love, but definitely a prime factor. I agree.
Safe place and trust.
Huh?
Safe space and trust.
Safe space and trust is a good reason, probably a good reason. I agree. Yeah.
Sometimes it's just your imagination.
I like that. Yeah, true.
The other person is loving, but actually not.
Here's the question.
Understanding and acceptance.
Fantasy.
Understanding and acceptance is based on communication, right? Here's the question. What will it take for you to fall in love with yourself? Deep love. No, don't answer right now. I want you to think. If you really don't think out this question, we won't reach anywhere. The purpose of this session will not be fulfilled. What will it take, even in just superficial thinking, deep you will get in time, but what will it take for you to fall in like, I love myself. I deeply love myself the way I am. Important point is not just verbally, not affirmations wise, but like I am absolutely in love with myself. What will it take for you to reach there? The answer will still lie in a form of communication, of course. The question is, are you looking at that side at all? Or are we completely ignoring that side and trying to find answers in other places?
Even something which we have done today, and then like we normally say that I have done this, so I try to pay or something like that. So if I give a effort or something like that, probably I will.
That's giving us beautiful. That is true. I agree. Giving is a very different form of communication, by the way. Very beautiful, very subtle, but different form of communication with yourself. I will explain that a little bit later. But yeah, I want you to focus on something. Who are you actually falling in love with when you talk about falling in love with yourself? Acceptance is a process. Important question. Who are you actually falling in love with?
The qualities which you think are aligned with that person. Also something which is lacking in me and I see. I don't know these kind of things.
The lack.
Reasonable question to ask. Self-love is with some portion of self. It logically is with someone, right? True marriages are not the marriages which happen like this. True marriages happen here. When the mind or the soul, when the body marries the soul completely, that is an example of a true marriage. This is a symbol or symbolical of it is called the Shiv Linga. The consciousness completely married the matter. Shiva, you the Shiva, married completely and is in persistent marriage with you the Parvati or you the Mata. Now, when we say self-love, we're basically saying you value the real you, the soul, the spirit, the soul, the spiritual aspect of you, and you so perfectly value it, you bring it out, you keep it on surface, you be in it. Be in it. For example, when you are in love with somebody, you think about that person a lot of times, right? You think, how can you do, what can you do to please you? Explore, explore, explore. That's why the word that I was discussing with my wife is explorative discussion. Explore about the other person. That is what builds communication. You stop taking interest, you stop exploring, communication will die. You will still have a formal communication, but you're not. Exploration is done by the heart chakra. When you're looking for something, awareness of it comes from the heart chakra, right? And think about it this way. When you're in love with somebody, you're trying to know as much about the person as much as you can. When you take the same example to yourself, you're trying to know as much about the soul, you the soul, as much as it's possible. Symbol of love. Which is why heart chakra symbolizes love and no other chakra. It is awareness, it's desire to explore, 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 explore. And this is why when you look at spiritual discussions, whenever you hear great monks talking or something, they will always say, okay, let's pierce a small hole through a paper. This is your sight for those that first ever see the soul, okay? Teeny tiny amount, but you're still seeing it. It's still beyond the veil, but you're still seeing it. With many months and years of practice, the veil becomes bigger, the hole becomes bigger, 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 bigger. You see more and more of it, more. But it's a curiosity, it's that willingness to know more, to explore more, that will actually help to widen that hole. And over a period of time, there will be no paper, there will be no veil. Sainthood or hardship in Jainism is called Arihantaship. Reached. You and the soul are one, marriage is done. This is called the concept of true or divine marriage. Self-love, the journey of self-love will actually end at you completely realizing your true nature. The love will take you there, which basically means you have to invest time in finding more and more of who you are. If you stop that journey, you're investing your time and efforts in things which are not really oriented to love. You will always need that so-called love from outside. Validation, like ma'am said, from others, from our children, from our husband, from our employer, sometimes from our employees. Do they respect us? Do they care about us? Do they listen to us? Validation. And the problem is they help, or they don't actually help. They form the basis of our self-image, which is improper. Improper basis of formation of self-image looks like this. Proper basis is you're complete and you're just here to do your work. But you can't fake it as a problem. You can try faking it. I've tried it a lot, it doesn't work after a while. The gap's so big, you can't fake it after a while. For example, let's talk about success. 2 more minutes, success. There is a saying I've known, fake it till you make it, but I don't honestly think it works. But maybe it works for some people, I'm sure of that. When you talk about success, the real mantra for success, as I think I've known, is, are you in true love with your success, or are you trying to achieve success because the others are becoming more successful, others are becoming more prosperous, but do you really love what you're doing? Are you exploring it more and more, or are you just doing it? Love is magnetic. Love is the reason for growth. Will is not, intelligence is not. They're just supporting factors. True factor has always been love. Do you love what you're doing, and are you in love with success in this area? That's when your exploration in this area will be very. For example, I was trying to, tell this to somebody. I don't remember who, and it's been a while also. That the person who was coming asked me about why I'm not able to switch jobs, and I said, do you even want to work? I mean, this question came after a certain discussion, and she was like, no, I don't really want to work. I'm like, why are you even searching a job? You don't even want to work, you have no interest in working, you know. And so, and I was like, you know what, let's just take 2 days off, get into the mind of, I really, really want to work. I want to be employable, I want to work, I want to earn good money, I want to support my family, but most importantly, I want to work, I want to be successful in this work. I want people to, not exactly people, but like, I want to be valued in the industry that Virabashi was. I think it took her a few weeks to pump up this, and after some time, the output was, of course, she got employed, but a really good company and fantastic salary at a desirable location also. But most important point was to come into acceptance that I really love what I do, or that I want to do. Most people want to earn money, but they don't love money. Loving money has nothing to do with accumulating money. Nothing. Loving money actually has to do with seeing money exactly what it is. It's a resource which you employ for the benefit of others and benefit of self. Whatever you love, you never keep it for yourself. You know that, right? No? You never keep it for yourself whatever you truly love. Now you will know this if you have really loved. But if you've practiced attachment, this concept will be really hard to come by. Attachment is not love. Can't be. Attachment is completely self-centered. Love, on the other hand, is completely selfless. See the stark contrast? Which is why I said, if you love money, you will have money. Question is, do you love it? Bigger question, how selfless are you when it comes to money? That is the question. Money is just one example. People, things like that. Success. How selfless are you when it comes to success? Good food for thought, right? Let's begin the meditation. Turn all lights off except this. Except this. That's okay. I learned this. So, to those of you who are coming for the meditation for the first time, raise your hands. Okay. Turn lights off. Just turn lights off. This, raise your hands. This is called the blessing position, okay? Yeah? In front of the heart chakra, blessing position. Just quick steps, okay? Blessing position. Heart chakra is right over here. Everyone, touch this portion. It's called the heart chakra. Center of the chest. Heart chakra. Everyone, touch, everyone. Remember, okay? So in the meditation, don't touch here. Just remember this portion, okay? Heart chakra looks like a lotus flower which faces or opens up in the front, right? Then he got this, you know. I've got to talk about it. This is the crown chakra. Touch over here. Crown chakra looks like a lotus flower facing upwards, like this. Okay? Yeah. So we will do the meditation. I will guide you properly. When I'm saying blessing or blessed with the heart chakra, you will be aware of the heart chakra. Imagine the brilliant light coming out of the heart, passing through your hands like this, and going to the small earth in front of you, like a small size earth, right? Same with the crown, same with the heart and the crown. I'll guide you properly, okay? The most important point is this. We will chant the mantra Om Mani Padme Hum in this meditation, and the mantra is called Om Mani Padme Hum, H-U-M, Hum, okay? Many times, and we will chant together, so there's no lag in that, right? One more aspect is when there is a time to perform stillness, about 10-15 minutes into the meditation, we'll perform an activity of stillness. Stillness is performed by being aware of a point of light on top of the crown, right here. Right over here, and I will chant Om, I think 7 to 9 times. You will listen to that, you will not chant Om at that time, and you will try to maintain stillness, look at the point of light, and just let go of everything. Clear? I'll remind you all these also in the meditation, so no worries, okay? Quick one. Mobiles in airplane mode. If one phone rings, bad karma comes to you. Simple. Please keep the phone to silent, not on vibration mode. Yeah, vibration mode is not accepted. Airplane mode and no alarms. Yeah. Second is remaining instructions. I think after the. By the way, anybody has a heart problem, physical heart problem, which is not rectified? Good. Glaucoma? Nobody? Okay. Hypertension, which is not under the control of medication. Under control is fine, right? Blood pressure, anything else? Yeah? Sweet. Lights off, lights off, lights off. Let's start. Okay, yeah. Everyone, sit with the back straight. Actually, turn all the lights off except that one. So this is completely dark, yeah? So inhale and exhale. I recently learned of a concept called happy breath, which basically means that you're really happy that the breath is still coming inside your body. Breath is entering inside your lungs, but the prana of the breath is going to entire body. The prana, or the energy which the breath contains, is going from your head, your brain, your eyes, your ears, your mouth, your jaws, your neck, all the glands in the neck, down to your lungs, your